Welcome to Spoop Squad, the podcast that watches horror films that go flop in the night. I'm Jared.
I'm Nick. And I'm Nathan. Spoop your Nick.
Nick is not with us tonight, which is okay. Nathan, we decided that we were going to watch something that we've watched before,
Yes.
actually. So we watched Steelmanville Road. This movie is from 2017. We watched it on Amazon, and it has a 3.8 out of 10 on IMDb. This is a Bad Ben movie.
It's technically Bad Ben 2, but it's a prequel.
It's a prequel sequel.
It's a prequel sequel.
Yeah. So I do want to say we have watched this before, both of us. And immediately I knew that we watched it, but I could not remember anything about it.
Oh, I remembered like the whole thing.
I couldn't remember anything. And then as we watched the trailer over again, I was like, okay, I remember bits and pieces of this.
Okay. So all of the movies kind of run together, but they get more ridiculous as you go.
They don't all necessarily run together.
Kind of.
No, because this one didn't have Tom Riley.
It did.
At the very end.
The very end.
Like, what, 10 seconds of Tom Riley out of the whole
It's like a minute.
hour and
you
a
get
half?
like a solid minute of Tom Riley.
Yeah, but it's not that much. Throughout majority of the movie, you don't get Tom Riley, is what I'm saying. Okay, budget for this movie, we couldn't find one, but we do know that Bad Ben 1 was made for $300.
Yeah, and this one has actors.
This one does have actors, but
They probably got paid $50 for the day.
yeah, probably. And you're probably looking at like $500.
Yeah. Probably. That sounds about right.
I would say that's about right. It can't be more than 1,000.
Yeah.
It can't be.
I can't imagine that it would be.
I mean, it does have some special effects. It does have, let's see, 4 people plus Tom Riley, because he does show up at the end.
5.
Okay.
There's 5 because there's Matt, Silas, Rachel, Mona,
You're right.
and Elijah.
You're right. And then
Tom Riley is the 6th.
guy from the lead family, so 6, I would say.
But they don't show him.
No, he's a shadow, so it could have been like a double actor. Who knows?
Yeah.
At least 5. All right. Synopsis. Nathan, you got the synopsis since Nick's not here.
Yeah. I'm going to read it like Nick, though.
Okay.
Rachel Harris and her husband
Please
Matt.
don't fucking do that.
Rachel Harris and her husband Matt move into their new home, only to experience a barrage of paranormal and increasingly aggressive activity.
Aggressive activity is
not really. It's not really aggressive. It's just.
It's not.
There are moments in the movie that are supposed to be aggressive that are not.
Right. There's one aggressive scene that we'll get into later.
Yes. I thought you were going to talk. Is it when Matt pushes Silas?
No. All right, Nathan. One good thing. What's yours?
My one good thing, and here this is gonna surprise you. My one good thing is that, he actually does a decent job of setting up everything for Bad Ben 1.
Okay,
like the little grave, the candlestick, and the urn, and the ashes, and the dolls. Which the dolls they're not used; they're just there.
Yeah. Well, Elijah plays with them a little bit.
It's like
but
at the very end, he stabs them with
pins. Yeah.
But like people are already dead.
Yes.
So I just think that that's like a cool, like he really did like set everything up, like the box with the garbage bag with the box with the knives and
yeah, it's like a Bad Ben origin story is basically what it is.
Yeah,
we get the whole story about the Leeds family, where Rachel's lineage is, like, you know, how her mother and brother died, apparently. Like, yeah, so it's it's an origin story of sorts. We do definitely get the Lord's Prayer, the Bible, and the cross.
And the picture that looks like a child drew it, but it was her.
Yep. the picture of her husband, Matt, the baby that they wanted, and then the baby that they got.
Yes.
We do also get the ashes in the attic and the bloody clothes and the knives, like you were talking about, that are found in the shed in Bad Ben 1.
And the music box.
And the music box. And the grave.
And the grave.
Most definitely. All right. My one good thing is the fact that they can't afford utilities even though they have this mortgage completely, like the house is paid for in full.
Yeah.
She inherits this house from her mom who had died, who she never knew.
Yes, it's her biological mom.
Yeah, her biological mother, but her mom gave her up for adoption because of some like weird family history that was supposed to be like some kind of, I guess, folklore of the family where they needed her to be like the last living girl or something. I don't know. It's some weird crap going on. But yeah, so she didn't know her mother. She inherits this house from her mother, even though her mother wanted to get her away from the house.
Yes.
And so it's completely paid for.
Yes.
They move in and they can't even afford utilities, which I thought was a bit ridiculous. And then they get like really excited that she's pregnant at the end of the movie.
Yes.
And I mean, I get it. Like if you want a kid, then it's an exciting moment, but
if you can't
there
afford
has to be a lot of
utilities.
stress on them if you can't afford utilities for this house.
Yeah, and it's not like it's that big of a house.
No, it's
but
not
I mean,
that
I
big.
guess like the lights just kind of go on and off as however they please. And
Yeah. But I mean, my first thought is if you legitimately cannot, and they both have jobs.
Both have jobs.
It's not like they're not working. If you legitimately cannot afford utilities, why wouldn't you just turn around and sell the house?
Yes, and that's what would have made sense.
Yes.
But they did not do that.
They did not. I mean, I get why you would want to move into a house where it's completely paid for. You don't have to pay the mortgage or anything. All you would have to do is pay the taxes. You would pay the property insurance and I guess not the utilities.
Yeah, pretty much. It's I think it's wild. It's a wild decision.
Yeah, it's just a little clunky for a backstory. All right, Nathan, kill breakdown. What do you got? How many do we have?
We have 3 kills. So kill number 1 is Rachel stabs Silas. Kill number 2 is Rachel kills Matt with a hatchet in the basement. Kill number 3 is Rachel kills herself.
See, I think we're missing one because I think that Matt does kill Ben.
But he's not dead. He's not going to stay dead.
He's not going to stay dead.
Okay. I mean, it's semantics. It's just one of those things where, like, you can kill somebody, but they come back, and then so we don't count them as dead.
That's fair. But Bad Ben doesn't come back at the end of the movie. He comes back in the movie before this one.
Yeah.
So
it's the same.
Yeah. So, but he doesn't come back in this movie.
And he comes back, and then they chain him up in the basement.
Yeah.
The caretakers do. Who are the caretakers? I'm assuming the Leeds family.
Maybe.
The inbred, like
the
Leeds
Pineys.
family, the Pineys.
Which, all right, let's get into ridiculous moments because this is one of my ridiculous moments. So there's this moment when this woman, Mona, who apparently knows all about Rachel's family.
She's
and
supposedly
Rachel,
friends with her mom.
Yeah.
And
they're sitting down talking about like her history of her family. And there's definitely a moment where they're talking about like inbred people. And Rachel's like, oh, we call them Pineys.
Wait. No, we call inbred hicks around here Pineys.
Yes.
Is her quote.
That is the quote.
Very good. And then, like, okay, so scenes that are supposed to be aggressive, that's not. This is one of those scenes because Mona just gets louder, but she's not imposing at all.
No.
And then Rachel is reacting as if she is feeling threatened,
but still not that much.
Like, the only part of the scene that could have been considered aggressive is Mona stands up and reaches out with her hands like she's going to touch Rachel's face, but like in a kind way.
Yeah.
And Rachel's like, Mona, leave. And it's so bad. The acting in this is just...
The acting is not great.
This is the worst acting in all of the movies.
It is. Now, granted, we haven't watched all of the Bad Ben movies.
That's fair.
There's
of
the ones that we have watched, this one has been the worst.
Yeah, this is the worst acting.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's funny to me that the actor who plays Matt is married to the actress that plays Rachel in
yes,
real
they
life.
are married in real life.
But they had no chemistry.
No chemistry at all.
No chemistry at all. Like, it was awkward when they kissed.
It was all awkward. Like, I feel like a lot of their frustrations with each other in their actual real life marriage came into play in this movie because they were aggressive towards each other immediately.
Yeah, like Matt was just shitty to her.
Yeah.
And like you could tell that like the line probably wasn't written that way, but then he would like scowl as he said things, and it's like, dude,
like, why are you
what
so
a
angry?
Dickhead. He's just a dick.
Like, I get it. Your wife surprised you with this house that you think you can't afford utilities for.
But then he's just mad at her immediately. She's hearing noises in the house, and he's like, you're crazy. He just starts gaslighting her.
He just gaslights her through the whole movie up until the camera system, the security cameras, shows Elijah, who is a ghost, in their living room.
Talking in reverse.
Yeah.
It was
how does Silas even know to reverse the footage?
It's like, because I forgot that it was reversed, but like, you know, it's literally just the audio.
Yeah,
is reversed.
It's just the audio is reversed.
Like, there was just a magic button on the screen that he could push that
was
would
like, hey.
It said reverse audio.
Yeah.
But it literally sounded like there was somebody talking and they just reversed it. But then it's like a whole conversation between like
three people.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It was the mother, Elijah, and I think
it's like the Leeds family or whatever is all talking at once.
Yeah.
It's just very funny.
It's insane.
Yeah, and so but it's when you hit that point, it's like this isn't like a big reveal. It's just them being like, we need to get her out of the house. We're gonna kill the husband. Like, it's not.
None of it really makes any sense.
This movie has no rising action.
No.
Like, it's just like things happen, but there's no climax. It just kind of goes.
Yeah, everything just sort of happens.
Yeah.
In one form or fashion.
Yeah, and if we weren't watching this for the show, I probably would have fallen asleep.
I'm surprised you didn't, honestly.
I'm surprised I didn't. I fell asleep before the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand why this movie was forgettable for me. Is because it drags on a lot.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of talking. Like, there's a ton of exposition. Like, there's like the whole scene with Rachel and Mona was like 10 to 15 minutes long. I mean, it was a long scene of them just sitting there talking and poorly delivering lines. And it felt like they weren't in the same room together, but that, you know what I mean? Like, they're just delivering the lines.
It's like they were doing a table read for community theater.
It's like they were each individually recording their own parts in separate rooms. It's at different times, and then it was just put together. Like, it just felt so disjointed. But like, there's the fucking lawyer scene.
The lawyer.
where this guy's just like shitty and like douchey,
Yeah.
and it's like there's no reason for that. Like he didn't have to be that way. It would have been more convincing if he was just like, yeah, like if he was trying to sell it, but he was literally coming across as like, I'm withholding information from you to be shitty.
Like, there's no real reason for this lawyer to even be in this movie.
Well, yeah, they're like, oh, our house is haunted. Let's call the lawyer.
Yeah, let's call the lawyer.
Let's call this lawyer who only talked to my mom on the phone a couple of times.
Yeah, once.
Yeah.
Never had been to the house. His dad was the mother's lawyer. He wasn't even the mother's lawyer.
Yeah.
But his dad has retired, and he has since taken over the family law firm.
Yeah, he inherited the business, essentially.
Yeah.
He said he'd been practicing law for 6 years, and he's been doing this for 2. And it's like, it was just so weird.
Yeah. Because if he was doing it for 6 years, he would have been a partner with his father's firm by that point. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It would have been like
firm.
it would have been a father-son firm.
Yeah.
After, a few years probably. But he wouldn't have just been, I don't know, and maybe that's it. Maybe he's only been a partner for like 2 years. Maybe that's kind of what he was talking about. Who knows?
But I don't know. It was just, he was super shitty. He was like gaslighting them, and then when they showed him the footage and they're like, well, but like the chair moved, and he's like, oh yeah,
it seems like a prank.
Yeah, your friend's pranking you.
Yeah.
Your friend's pranking you. And then they're like, but
whenever it's live footage.
Yeah, and they're like, no, like the chair moved. Well, how long before you could get in? It's about an hour or so. And then immediately, while he's out on the porch, like Matt's out on the porch with so that would be like 6 actors. Sorry, I just added one.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah, so they're out on the porch and they're talking about like, you need to get your septic system checked out and this and that because it smells like shit in the house. And while this is happening, like everything's moving in the house. By everything I mean like one chair and one recliner.
Yeah, well, Rachel does get attacked on the couch.
Yeah, no, but that's happening. But I will say she did a better job of being attacked by an invisible force than Nigel Bach does in the first Bad Ben movie, because she like is pressing her hands down into the couch and like looking like she's actually struggling, as opposed to just like, God damn it.
Fuck my life.
Fuck my life. God damn it.
I still say that we need to get a fuck my life in at least one portion of every single movie.
I don't think we get it though.
We don't.
I think we
only get it the once.
No, we get it another time.
Do we?
Yeah, in the clown one. The Crescent Moon or whatever, the Crescent Moon Clown or something, whatever that one's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a fuck my life in there. Because I remember he said it and we cheered. But we're not talking about that one. That movie's a fucking masterpiece.
We'll get to that one eventually.
Yeah.
We're going to do these in a series.
Yeah.
Like Bad Ben 1, Stillmanville Road.
Then we got to do Batter Ben, the final chapter.
Yeah.
Which is the 3rd movie. And then there's 6
more.
more.
There's 6 more after that.
There's
so definitely not the final
Definitely
chapter.
not the final chapter.
I think he realized, oh no, I'm making money off of these. Why would I stop?
Yeah, I've made way too much money dicking around doing dumb shit.
We need to dick around and just do dumb shit for a horror movie on our cell phones.
Yeah.
Why aren't we doing this?
I don't know. We should, because it would be hilarious. But here's the thing too, is that the effects that they put on Elijah are so funny,
so bad,
because it's obviously a kid with white face paint. He has corpse paint on.
Yeah,
if you know what that is, like
the black,
the black around his eyes,
yeah,
and then the white face, and it's like very clearly makeup. It's not like meant to make him look like he's dead or whatever. It's just like he's about to go to a fucking metal show, like a death metal show.
It's that, or almost like somebody was trying to do like a face painting skeleton and quit halfway through.
Yeah, they were like, "Nah, I'm not going to do the teeth.
I'm not."
I'm not gonna do the teeth on your lips. You got a cold sore or something.
We don't need.
I'm not touching your mouth. Not touch your mouth. This brush has got to touch other people's mouths, and you got something. You got something wrong here.
Something's not right.
But yeah, no, that was terrible. Like it's just that paint, that face paint was terrible. But I liked
the effects that they put on him too were bad.
No, but I was gonna say I like the one where he jumps out of the attic.
Yes, the attic was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny because it's evident that he jumped up. Like he went from crouching to like standing up to crouching to jumping up, and they just reversed it.
They reversed the footage and sped it up.
Yeah, and they like made it look like he came, like they stretched his image to where it looked like he came out of the attic.
Yeah,
which was super funny. Like because it looks like he dropped down like a fucking frog. It was so funny. Like he didn't even do like a hero stance, like a 3-point stance. He just drops to all fours and is like standing there, and it's super funny. But then there is one point when he is translucent, and we can see him, but Matt and Rachel can't. And it's when the lawyer is in the bathroom, and he just goes over and stands outside the bathroom there, and then just disappears.
Yeah, just gone. Before the lawyer opens the door to the bathroom, and that's where he's like, "Oh yeah, I think your septic tank is screwed up or something."
Yeah. Well, and it's that like everybody thinks that it's because it starts off with Matt saying it smells like rotten eggs, which would be sulfur. You know, it smells like sulfur or whatever. And then
Silas says,
it smells like
a shit candle.
Yeah, it smells like shit in here. It's super funny and just presses it. And then the lawyer's like,
his quote, "Are you burning a shit candle?"
Yeah, he goes. It smells like shit in here, and she goes, "I'm burning a candle. Is it a shit candle?" It's just that's the line of the movie. That's so fun. Like you really want to believe that was improvised. But at the same time, like I genuinely believe that Nigel wrote that.
Yeah,
like that is a major Nigel vibes.
Yes,
like Silas had major Nigel vibes, and I love that. That's what I was expecting his role in the movie to be.
Is to be Nigel.
Is to kind of be like a Nigel type person. Like it's funny because like no one's really scared.
No.
But I mean,
Rachel kind of acts scared, but not really.
It's no, because she's not really scared. She's just like
aggressive.
These things are happening, and no one believes me.
Yeah, nobody believes me, and they're all three of them, Silas, Matt, and Rachel. They're all aggressive towards each other, and my theory is that they're in a love triangle.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, I think that's what's going on.
Yeah, we did make a throuple joke at one point. And let's not forget that we've got a Charlie Brown and Snoopy like cookie jar.
So
is it like a porcelain statue?
This is a game that I wanted to play with you. I wanted to play. What's that on the table? So we definitely had a Charlie Brown. I don't know if it was a cookie jar or if it was just.
It's like a porcelain painted glazed thing, but it's Charlie Brown and Snoopy. Because I got up, and walked up to the TV to see it.
It did also look like there was a stuffed Woodstock with a shirt on it.
I didn't see that. Where was that? On that table?
It was like on the table, but like up against the wall. It was yellow. It looked kind of like the outline. It's very blurry. You can't really tell, so I can't confirm that it was Woodstock, but it did look like Woodstock to me. I was going by context clues since there was a Snoopy and a Charlie Brown already.
Yeah, it might have been a Woodstock. So. I will say I do like that this table, because this is Nigel's house.
Yes.
This feels like he just had a bunch of shit that he didn't know where to put it to hide it.
Just threw it on a table.
Aside from the fact that there's like 3 bedrooms upstairs that are not being explored with the cameras in this film.
Yeah.
We do see them in other films. We see one. No, we see 2 other ones.
I think one of them closest to like the upstairs living room. I think that one might be a bathroom.
Oh, I don't know. It could
I'm
be.
not sure.
It could
I
be.
can't
But I
remember
don't
the
think
exact
so.
layout. I know that the first door on the right as you go up the
Is a
stairs, that's a
bedroom.
bedroom.
And there is a
There's
bedroom
a-
on the left.
I don't know if that's a bedroom or not. I have no idea what that
No,
is.
it's-
We've
it's-
never seen it.
It's a bedroom. We saw it in one movie.
I don't remember it.
Because I remember cheering when he went in there.
Okay, we're going to have to find that one
Yeah.
and figure it out.
I want to say that was in like the Crescent Clown or whatever. I don't
I'm
even
not
remember
sure.
the name of that one is. I think it's Crescent Clown.
It's the Crescent Moon Clown.
Yeah, Crescent Moon Clown, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Right, so he has all these rooms upstairs that he's not using, but this table feels like he just took a bunch of shit and stuck it in bags and then put it like in or on the, like underneath or on this like a cardboard or table or whatever you call them, the card tables. That's not cardboard.
The cardboard table.
The cardboard table. Fuck, man, it might as well have been a box. And he just like threw a tablecloth over it, but it's just there in the corner.
See, I'm kind of thinking it's as he was unpacking, he would come across boxes that just had like miscellaneous shit in it and was just like, I'll put it here for now, and then just forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then was making a movie and was like, nah, fuck it, whatever.
Put a tablecloth on it. I was gonna say put a coffee table on it.
Put a cardboard on it.
Put a cardboard on it. God, I can't use words.
There is one other thing that is on this table. Nathan, what do you think it is?
It's a giant robber from Settlers of Catan.
That's not what I think it is. I am probably wrong in this, but it looks like a black butt plug to me.
It is like a 12-inch butt plug is what it looks like.
This table is blurry. We cannot make it out for sure, but it looks like a butt plug to me.
Yeah, it is not for amateurs. This is a professional grade butt plug for people who are really stretching it
like
out.
Special order.
Like it's like the size of a fucking softball at like its widest point. This is fucking massive. Like this is the first time you use it, you experience some tearing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, this is dangerous. And now I want to go back and watch all of the other movies to see if this butt plug is on the table or not. Because I've never remembered this table before, other than in this movie.
I feel like I've seen the table because I think that we've talked about the Charlie Brown and Snoopy before.
Yeah,
but I can't remember if it was this movie or not.
See, I think it was this movie because it does look like a weird doll's head back there. And then when you get close to the TV, you see that it's
You're like, oh, wait, that's Charlie Brown.
glossy Charlie Brown and Snoopy. It's very funny. I think it's got to be like a cookie jar or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There is one other thing that we have. It's not on the table, but it is on the fireplace mantle.
The PS2?
No, there is a PlayStation on there, and it's a PS4, I believe.
Okay.
But there is a little Olaf stuffed animal.
I forgot about Olaf. That's so good.
So maybe this is in the Disney universe.
Yeah. I just want to say it's funny to me that the majority of this movie takes place at night, as if they only had time to record after everyone got off of work.
Yeah. No, that's definitely what it was.
And they definitely recorded this in like maybe 2 days.
Yeah, it couldn't be more than that.
Like I think most of the live shots were done in 2 days.
It was probably done over a weekend, at most 3 days.
It's it's bad. Like just that they try to make it feel like when it's like that there's a passage of time, but there really isn't. Like you have no idea how long all of this has been going on. You don't know if they've lived in the house for months. The only passage of time that we know about is that they literally put up a black screen that says that they unplugged the cameras for the 9 months that Rachel was pregnant,
Right.
and that
he only plugged them back in because he wanted to monitor her while he was away at work or whatever.
But immediately in the next scene, she's like, "Why do you have the cameras back on?" And he's like, "Well, it's nearing the end of your pregnancy."
Yeah.
And it's like, why have this screen with words on it that tell us this thing, and just say it then?
Why do we, the audience, know before you know?
Yeah, like weird. This is unnecessary.
It's like we're looking into the future.
Yeah, it was not a thing that needed to be discussed.
No.
But it was very funny. I also don't understand why Matt got so aggressive with Silas and made him leave.
I think it's because of what the lawyer said, and I think that he was thinking that Silas was
he
spying on them.
He thought he was spying on them.
So I think that's where the aggression came in that moment. Now, I do want to talk about the aggression of everybody's aggressive to everybody.
Yeah.
And there's even one moment where
it's like a shitty D&D campaign where everyone hates each other. Yeah. That's what it is.
They're all trying to kill each other, but they can't legitimately kill each other.
They're all Matt's NPCs.
That's an inside joke.
It's unnecessarily aggressive.
So there's this moment when Silas is bringing over the cameras for the interior of the house.
Yeah.
And he knocked on the door 4 times, knock, knock, knock.
That's
rings
3.
the doorbell. Okay. Knock, 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 if you want me to be technical. Rings the doorbell twice. Ding dong.
Yeah.
I only did it once. You didn't say anything. Okay.
That's fine.
They
had the ding and the dong.
There's a bunch of ding dongs in this movie.
That's 2 rings of the bell.
So he has to wait for Rachel to answer the door for a minute, maybe a minute.
And then he immediately calls Matt.
He immediately calls Matt. And is like, I don't know. I've knocked on the door 7 times and yada, yada, yada. And when she opens the door finally, after a minute, he's so aggressive towards her.
Well, but then she's also shitty to him.
Well, yeah, I would be too.
No, but they're just
he automatically is aggressive for no reason.
She opens the door with an attitude. She yanks it open, and then he's standing there, and he's like, "Are you ready for me to put up more cameras in your house?" It's just super bad, super aggressive. I don't know. Everybody, the one person who's not aggressive in this whole movie, Elijah.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's just ominous.
Yeah, he's just walking around, following his sister around for no reason.
He's like, "No, I want a nephew."
I'm sad.
I'm sad. He did just he moped around the house after the quote unquote artifacts were brought back in.
Yeah,
which is the giant Bible, the 10 Commandments, or is it the Lord's Prayer?
It's the Lord's Prayer
and the cross.
The cross and the Bible.
And the giant Bible.
And the urn and the voodoo dolls. And the candlestick.
Yeah. But those things went up in the attic. It was the other thing. It was the religious things that kept him out of the house.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We don't know, because it seems very wishy-washy with Mona's character. Because it seems like she's trying to warn Rachel, but then as she's leaving, it's kind of like she's like, "Oh no, Rachel's here by herself. Do what you will." And then when she comes back, she's burying Bad Ben and saying, "You shouldn't come back, but if you do."
Yeah.
She's
super
doesn't
weird.
have
she doesn't play. She's not playing to either side.
No.
She doesn't have a clear role.
Right.
But I think it's funny that the artifacts, the religious Christian-esque artifacts, were quote unquote artifacts, which are just things that you could easily find at a thrift store. where what was keeping everything out of the house, at least that's like what everyone was told, and like how the the ghosts and Elijah acted, like they couldn't come back in because, and they even said like, you remove the artifacts, let us back in, we belong in there with you, and all this stuff. And she's like, no. And it's super funny that all they needed to get in was for Mona to unlock the deadbolt on the patio door.
Yeah.
Boom. Ghosts are back in the house. Everybody's happy. Artifacts are still there. Not important anymore.
Not important. Not a thing. Like,
Everyone's
I
happy.
wanted to say that Mona brought in all these artifacts, and that's only keeping Elijah out. But even Elijah enters the house again at the end of the movie when all of this stuff is still there.
Yeah. But this is all that stuff was to set up that stuff being there in Bad Ben.
Yeah, that's all it was for. But I think it's also funny that Elijah's character is very similar to the whole Mona thing, where it's like, it's very
Why is he there?
up in the air.
Is
like,
he
why,
bad? Is he good?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Because it seemed like he was there to protect Rachel, but then at the end of the movie, he was happy that he was able to go and be with the lead family, who were like the antagonists.
His ghost was sad.
His ghost was sad during the movie.
No, but it was sad at the end because you saw the shadow and his head was down, and he walked over and helped. Oh no, that was Rachel.
Yeah, that was Rachel and Matt.
That's Rachel and Matt.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know, because he turns to the camera at the end and goes, "It's done. Can I cross over now?" and the
Like, you probably delivered the lines a little bit better.
I probably did. Yes. Yeah. No, and then the lead's ghost is like, "You can join us now," and he's like, just basically he's like, "Okay," and then he just disappears. Like, it's super funny that there has been all of these effects on him to make him look like different and like scary or whatever. I mean, not that he was scary, but just like different from everything else, and to make him look like he's transparent and stuff. And then the end of the movie, he's just like a kid in
face paint.
Dressed like a Mormon, and it's like, come on, my dude. Like, he's just like, I don't even remember seeing him lift his arms.
I don't know that he did.
Just relaxed arms. Can I
just slunched over.
Can I
just
cross?
Super sad.
Can I cross over?
I want to talk about some of these ridiculous camera angles that we get in this movie
that don't line up with where the cameras have
do
been
not
placed.
line up with the placement of the cameras.
Which I didn't notice that the first time we watched it.
I feel like we probably did notice.
And there are also camera angles that have never been used in any of the other Bad Bens.
Yes, and there's one outside that is not supposed to be there.
Which one?
The one where Mona is burying Bad Ben.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's just a camera angle out there. She did not bring a camera out there.
Yeah, because in Bad Ben 1, he brings the camera out, sets it up on a tripod, and does his thing, right?
Right.
And also, I think that we only come back out to the grave like one other time in another movie.
I think that we go back into the woods in one or two.
We definitely go back into the woods, but we don't go into like that specific area.
Not the grave itself, yeah.
Yeah. But also, like, why should she not burn the body?
I don't know.
Why should she not burn the body? If she knew that he was going to come back, and she's like, I hope that you're too rotted to like do any danger or whatever.
Yeah.
Burn the body.
Yeah.
Burn the body. You're
Chop
having
it up.
the parents are getting cremated. Toss Ben in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
I do kind of like that, though, that the ashes were of Rachel and Matt.
Yeah.
All mixed together.
Yeah. That get written
and
in.
then Tom Riley just wipes them away.
But he doesn't touch the ashes. And the ashes don't actually get written in.
No.
It's very obviously MS Paint. And it's very funny.
It's one of the best parts of all the movies that we've watched so far.
That's one of those
That's
things
in Bad Ben. It's in the first Bad Ben.
Yeah, it's the original Bad Ben. That's a thing that I can watch over and over, and like that whole scene is so funny to me.
Yes.
But yeah, very funny. Very like this movie definitely had moments that were very, very funny.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it's a Bad Ben movie, so
Yeah.
there's going to be some funny parts in it.
Well, it definitely had some Nigel Bach moments, like
Yeah.
real Nigel Bach moments. Just some of the lines, some of the deliveries that were just great. But I mean, I get that it's a prequel. It doesn't really feel like a Bad Ben movie. It just feels like he just decided to explain things that he didn't feel like he wanted to explain in the first movie.
Yeah. You know, there's another... No, I take that back. I was going to say that whenever Silas is getting brought into the woods by a invisible entity...
Super funny.
It's super funny, yeah. But I was going to say that there's not a camera angle out there, but there is, now that I'm thinking about it. Because it was a night vision camera.
And it was on the left side of the
house.
house. Yeah. And you just see his body dragged out.
Yeah, but it is a very funny part of the movie.
Because it's not like they're actually dragging him. It's like it's a mannequin.
Yeah.
It's not making an impression in the grass. Like you can see like a trail from it, but it looks like that's left by, the dragging motion. But but they're you can also tell that like they're just kind of dragging it with fishing line. Or that somebody's just like, reeling it in.
I don't know.
Because it's moving consistently and you can't see anyone else.
They could have probably used like a green screen suit.
I don't think so.
I feel like I saw a little bit of an outline of...
I didn't see an outline.
Yeah. I'd have to go back and watch that scene.
It's moving too smoothly for it to be someone dragging it, because somebody's dragging it, it's going to kind of bounce and shake. It was just a smooth motion.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they could have probably put him on like some kind of rolling device or something like that to make it easier or something. I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea. We'll have to ask Nigel
it was definitely
when he comes on the show.
Yeah. I hope. We just need to keep reaching out to him, being like, hey, man.
Yeah, hey, come do this stupid show with us. I feel like we have to talk about the actress that played Mona.
Mm-hmm.
And first thing that I want to say is, Nathan, you kind of look like her with a mustache.
Yeah, she looks like my mom.
A little bit.
She kind of looks like my mom.
But like her acting, and I hate like talking bad about somebody's acting abilities whenever they're obviously not a professional, but it's just so like the lines that she delivers are so bad.
It's choppy.
The
emotion
choppy.
is in
There's
weird places.
No real emotion in it though.
Yeah, but you could tell that she spent the time to memorize her lines.
Yeah,
because she did have like a very long monologue in the kitchen, but then she is interrupted, but then
it's very much grandmother doing her grandchild a favor and being in their school project,
or just like elderly neighbor.
Yeah.
It's such an awkward...
It's like if you were going to ask your grandmother to be in a TikTok with you. Yeah.
But it's the one
and
where...
she's never heard of TikTok.
It's the one where like the image goes down and then she falls down too.
She falls over. Yeah.
That's such a good TikTok. Let's talk about grandmother TikToks.
I mean, they're funnier than this movie.
Yeah. Let's talk about Lily Hayes. She's a fucking treasure. Okay, do you remember? This is just the thing that irritated me, that I just thought was super ridiculous. It's when Matt is going through the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like he comes home, Rachel's asleep in bed, and he comes in and he goes up the stairs and he goes to the third living room in this house.
There's 3 of them.
There's 2 downstairs.
Well, there's also the basement too, and the basement's kind of made out. It's not a finished basement, but it's almost like a living room.
Kind of, yeah. But he's in the third living room,
mm-hmm.
and there's this portion where it's It's like
It's
the
like a
roof
computer
is cut
nook,
out.
like a long,
yeah, like
narrow
where there's
computer
there's a
nook.
window at the end.
Yes, because
That,
we've seen it in other movies.
Well, we saw it in this one because she walked up to it and was like, "Oh, the window's open," and he walks in and he's like, "That's dumb. You did it."
Yeah, well,
And-
but that's not the one that's down that long nook, though. That's right there at the
Oh
end.
yeah, you're right. It's right at the end. It's not that.
Yeah.
But
And
like,
I think it's blacked out
yeah,
in that portion as well.
yeah, but like this nook is just completely blacked out, as if Nigel just kind of created a shadow over there.
Oh, yeah, they
because he did-
definitely keyed it out.
Yeah, and so I mean, it's very clear that he did it because it's most of the footage is grainy, and then you have this very fine line,
A very
in this
fine
area.
line of shadow.
It's like again MS Paint, and he just did not give a fuck at this point. It was 4 a.m. and he's been up all night editing.
Yeah.
You know, and but it made you think that something was going to be in there,
And there wasn't.
and there wasn't. And there's a couple of times in this movie where something is like a doorway is framed to where you think something's going to happen there and then nothing does.
Mhm.
There's just all of these moments that could be a payoff and there is no payoff. And what you get instead is people talking and being
Yeah.
aggressive toward each other. And and none of the talking pushes the story forward.
You know what it reminds me of, in all honesty?
What?
It's a movie we've done before. Remember the Bigfoot movie?
Willow Creek?
Yes.
Okay. First of all,
whenever they're sitting in the tent, it's very much like that.
But like when they're in the tent, there's like pawing at it and there's like noises around
Not
them.
really. Not a
It
whole lot.
happened, not a whole lot, because it's literally
Out of,
23
like,
minutes
yeah.
of them sitting in a tent
Yeah, and like
and
2
reacting.
minutes
Yeah,
of them reacting to stuff happening outside the tent that you cannot see.
yeah, but then you get to see that lady in her panties, when that's super funny. Just an elderly woman in her panties, and it's just these giant grainy panties, and she's topless. Super funny because it's just such a shocking moment.
It's a very Bobcat moment.
Yeah, it's a very Bobcat move because you're not sure if you're supposed to laugh, but you do,
yeah.
which is very
out
Bob.
of shock mostly.
Yeah, that's very Bobcat, and it's beautiful. But yeah, there's just all of these moments in this movie where it's just of all of the movies, this one drags the most.
Yeah.
It's a huge. Like, you can tell that Nigel made the movie to be an exposition dump.
Oh yeah, most definitely. He
'Cause
wanted to set it up. He wanted an origin story, but there's just way too much exposition that he dumped into this movie.
Yeah, and I feel like this movie is fairly unnecessary because everything that is in it could have been explained in other movies in
Mhm.
short exposition dumps.
Yeah.
But instead, it's an entire movie. It's like an hour and 37 minutes or something like that of exposition dump.
I think it's like 134.
Yeah, it's something like that. But it's a long time of like a lot of just talking, and then you get like Nigel kind of fucking around with some special effects.
Yeah.
And
You
I
get
mean,
some
he-
backstory, and you get some things that you get in later movies, which is a little fun.
Yeah, and you get more camera angles this time
Yes.
because in Bad
Some
Ben,
that should not exist.
yes, but like on the side of the left side of the house, like you don't have that in Bad Ben. You only have the right side of the house. Actually,
Right.
I don't even know if you have that shot at the shed. Yeah, you do, because that's when he walks in, but he still has like his phone or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just so many moments of this movie where it's like, this could have, this meeting could have been an email.
Yeah. It does have that vibe.
Like
for sure.
that's kind of this whole movie. It's like you're sitting there in a meeting and you're like, God, this could have been like a 2-minute email. So
No, I completely agree with you. I have one question.
okay,
And that's at the beginning of the movie. First off, Silas is with them when Rachel is surprising Matt with this house, and they have Matt blindfolded for some reason. And
it's a surprise.
okay, you're gonna surprise your husband with a house that you haven't talked to him about. It seems very weird. But Silas is recording. I get that. like he's recording the experience.
Mm-hmm.
But then Rachel and Matt go into the house and sit down on the couch, and she's like explaining everything to her phone. For what? I don't understand like who she's making this video for.
Yeah, because it's different when Tom does it. Because when Tom's doing that stuff, he's documenting the
Right.
house and how he's going to fix it up and all that stuff. Like he
Yeah.
wants to document that stuff, and that makes sense. And for him, it's a very short explanation that gives you total reason for him doing it.
Right.
Her whole reasoning is she's doing it. Okay, it's also like the first day they've lived in this house, and she's hearing noises, and then Matt comes home from work, and he's like, you're recording again? And she's like, I'm lonely.
Yeah.
Shit, dude, like, call your mom, like your alive mom. Call your parents, like leave the house, go do something.
Yeah. Go.
You don't have to sit here at this house.
No, you don't.
Like, if you feel uncomfortable there alone, to leave.
Yeah.
So
Go find a park, read a book.
yeah, there's so many other things that she could have done, and I don't know. But she's like, yeah, I'm lonely, and I just wanted to record this, but she also like up front is like, yeah, you're gonna get sick of seeing our posts about our amazing house.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, you're a fucking bitch. Like, she's posting all of that on social media for her friends to see, and then her friends are just gonna be like, cool, hey, I'm happy that this thing just fell in your lap while I live in my shitty apartment, you know? Or like while I live in this shack by the river.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but at least my shack isn't haunted. It's just so weird.
They should have turned it into an Airbnb, a haunted Airbnb. They would have made a lot of money.
You know what? I think they do. They all deserve to die. They all deserve to die.
They do. They're all shitty people.
They're all shitty people. Like, there's nothing redeeming about any of them.
No, not at all.
They're all shitty. They all treat each other bad.
Matt is such an idiot that he stands up from the table, walks around the table to grab a tablet that was right next to him.
Literally, like, right next to his left hand. He walks all the way around it and then stands behind Rachel to look at the camera instead of like leaning forward and showing her the tablet.
Yeah.
He stands behind her, and it's like, you could have just like, you could have just picked it up, turned it to the side, hit the thing, and then showed it to her.
Right.
And it wouldn't have to have been difficult or anything, but
Like, to make it make sense, it should have been on the kitchen island. Like, he would have had to stand up and go grab it and then come back to the table.
yeah.
Because I think what they did, I think that they wanted to hide the screen because he wasn't actually using it.
Yeah, it wasn't lit up or anything. You
Yeah.
could tell it wasn't lit up. It's probably dead, honestly.
Yeah, honestly.
And then he just like closes it so you can't see that it's not still on.
Right.
So that makes sense too. But it was just,
So I think that they needed him to be on that side of the table so you couldn't see it. But, I mean, it would have made a lot more sense for him to have to walk over to the kitchen island, grab it, and then come back.
or to even like pick it up and then turn himself slightly. Like, it's all he needed to do.
I really think they just wanted some kind of movement in the frame
It's just
at some point
there
in
was
this scene, and
but-
there was nothing except for him twirling his spaghetti on his fork.
yeah. It's just there's so that there's definitely spaghetti noodles with ketchup on it, by the way. But there were so many shots in this movie where there's just nothing going on,
No.
and it doesn't give you any sense of ominousness or sinisterness or insidiousness.
You did it. You
I did
found it.
I know. I was just going to
Congrats.
keep using words. Angernessness.
Shittiness. Is what it was.
Shittinessness.
There was a bunch of shittiness.
It's just there was so like I don't know. There was never any moment that felt like there was tension building.
The only tension that you really got was between Matt and Rachel, for the most part, and then Matt and Silas, and Rachel and Silas, and then Rachel and Mona a little bit, and that's
But that
it.
was forced.
Yeah.
like, I don't understand why it had to, like, toward the end, why they had to build up this thing, this like outside thing of Mona filing a restraining order against Matt to get him to leave the house at night, to go down to the police station at night.
I don't know.
To like, I mean, what are they What are they doing? It's like a midnight all the time. It is constantly midnight.
Really
at one point, it's
night.
a quarter after 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the only time that time is mentioned
At all.
It's like, what time is it? And I was like, time to buy a watch, because she wore a watch, but she never looked at it. I don't think it ever lit up.
Probably
it was like a Fitbit or something.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know. Just let's go ahead and rate this movie. Nathan, what are you going to rate this movie?
I don't think I'm giving it a skull.
Okay.
It doesn't stand up to how good the other Bad Ben movies are, and I mean it definitely suffers from a severe lack of Nigel Bach.
Oh yeah,
like that really hurts it. He's so good and funny and awkward.
I'll say this: Nigel Bach, not a great actor.
No, but he sells it.
But he does sell it. Like he has a purpose and a meaning of
what he has is timing and delivery.
He does have that. Yeah.
You can tell that he has a mind for comedy, and I mean he has these great moments and jokes and shit, and he, you know, like I fucking love him. And it's just funny because when he shows up at the end and he's just having a phone conversation and it's him like before he bid on the house,
it's like the best part of the movie.
It's the best part of the movie, and it's not because you're excited to see him. It's because that's the best acting in the whole movie.
Yeah,
he had more chemistry with no one than all of these people
cell
had.
Phone?
Yeah, than all of like more of that than anybody else did by themselves.
Yeah,
and it was just, I don't know. This movie suffers from that. It suffers from being a huge exposition dump. I almost said expedition dump. That's when you travel to poop somewhere.
It is. Yeah.
It's a travel dump. It's a huge exposition dump that doesn't really go anywhere. This is definitely just a vehicle to show the setup for
it's an origin
the first
story.
movie. Yeah, but not even a good one.
Not a great one.
Because some of the things that you found that would, like, you know, become like super fun props in Bad Ben, like the religious artifacts and the urn and everything, like they're just kind of there and they don't really do anything.
Yeah, they're mentioned just as
things
to be in the next ones.
Yeah. So or in the one that came before it.
Right.
So yeah,
we get some of the stuff in other movies too, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he keeps that stuff through the other movies.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm not going to give it a skull. I think you can skip this one. If all of the Bad Ben movies, this is the one that feels the least like a Bad Ben movie.
Yes, and I think it's primarily because there's no Tom Riley.
There is, but only at the end. But we do have Bad Ben.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, there is no Tom Riley.
Yeah, it's I don't know. You could skip it and you won't miss anything.
Yeah.
It's not like if you watch, like, if you jumped in on like one of the later films and you haven't watched the first, like, you know, like the Bad Ben and Batter Ben 3, the final chapter. If you haven't watched those, then some things that happen later aren't going to land for you.
Right.
And like with this movie, like none of it means anything. It doesn't help anything. It doesn't help the story along.
Yeah, you don't really need it.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, I know, even though Nick is not here, I guarantee you he would not be giving this movie a skull.
No.
This is not a Nick movie.
No.
And I think that's kind of why we wanted to do this one while he wasn't here, while he wasn't available.
Yeah.
Is because we knew that he wouldn't have wanted to watch it to begin with. And
I think he's gonna like the later movies.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
But this one is
in particular.
This is not a Nick movie.
Yeah. And I know for a fact he would not be giving this a skull. I myself am not going to be giving this a skull
I
because
didn't think so.
Yeah, I mean, for the exact same reasons that you're talking about. The acting is not great. The chemistry on film is not great. The camera angles make no sense whatsoever. It's just not good.
A lot of tight angles, like against a wall.
Yeah.
Like in a place that like a camera would not be.
We're given a lot of characters that mean nothing to the story. The lawyer means nothing to the story.
Mona means
Silas
nothing.
really means nothing to
Yeah.
the story. Mona means a little bit to the story, but only
She-
because she has like that knowledge of the presence and
She's
the
supposed to.
family
She's supposed to be
history,
like
but-
the mystical spiritualist, and,
Right.
And really, she's just a kooky old lady that talks to the spirits on the land.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's just kind of it. And it's not. It doesn't. Ugh.
Yeah. Matt and Rachel don't even really need to be in this movie.
No. They kiss too much at the beginning.
Yeah.
It made me depressed.
It's not that hard.
because they're married in real life. They're playing a married couple, and then they kiss and it's forced, and it's like, ooh, I hate this.
Like whenever the credits show up and it shows that they both have the same last name, like I was legitimately confused, and I was like, I hope they're not brother and sister.
Yeah, a real Luke and Leia situation.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean no chemistry on film whatsoever.
Yeah,
So,
it's not great.
This one can definitely be skipped.
Yeah,
for
this,
sure.
this could be skipped. You don't have to worry about it. Hey, but what you don't want to miss, Jared,
What's that?
is this podcast and all our future episodes, which you at home can all be a part of. If you want to join in the conversation or suggest movies and stuff to us, you can find us on TikTok at Spoop Squad Podcast, on Twitter at Spoop Squad, or on Facebook at The Squad Podcast. And we still have an email account. It's spoopsquad@gmail.com. Still a dick?